everyone. My name is Penny Tillman. I'm the Director of Evidence-Based Programs for the Department of Aging and Disabilities, and I'd like to welcome you to Men's Health Week. Men's Health Week is about creating awareness and recognizing the importance of men and the roles that they play. As leaders of our nation, as community citizens, as grandfathers, fathers, brothers, the impact of health can be felt throughout. Did you know that on average, men live about 5 years less than women? Did you know that men have a higher death rate for most leading causes of death, including cancer, heart disease, diabetes, and suicide? 1 in 2 men will develop cancer, and approximately 30,000 men in the U.S. die each year from prostate cancer. Men make 1/2 as many physician visits for prevention as women, and men are more likely to be insured than women. Throughout Men's Health Week, the Department of Aging will be posting valuable information that men can use to improve their health and longevity. We hope that you will find this information useful and that you will be able to take advantage of all the wonderful tips that we'll be giving out throughout this week. Oh, and don't forget, wear blue in support of Men's Health Week. Hope you guys have a great week, and I'll see you next time. Thank you.
In this video, we'll define and discuss financial exploitation, including the different forms of financial abuse, the people who may take advantage of a vulnerable person's finances, and the signs of financial exploitation and how to prevent it. Financial exploitation is the theft or misuse of another person's money, property, or belongings for personal benefit. Money or property may be taken through deception, harassment, or threats. Anyone can be a victim of financial exploitation, but vulnerable people, such as those under guardianship, are at a higher risk. That's why guardians of the property must have a strong understanding of the types and signs of financial exploitation. Armed with this information, you may be able to identify, stop, and prevent the financial exploitation of a person under guardianship. Also, be aware that people may try to take advantage of you as a guardian of the property. There are many forms of financial exploitation. Theft is common, taking money or property like jewelry or other valuable items without permission. Another type is fraud, which refers to acts of deception or misrepresentation for personal gain. Examples of financial fraud include falsifying documents, forgeries, unauthorized check writing, investment fraud, mortgage fraud, and insurance fraud. Another type of financial exploitation that's quite common today is identity theft. The illegal access to and use of a person's personal or financial information, such as their name, social security number, date of birth, credit cards, or bank account numbers. Marketing or lottery scams are also a form of financial exploitation. They use false promises of cash, services, or goods to extract fees, donations, or personal information from the victim. Scammers may target victims by phone, email, postal mail, television or print ads, or in person. Who commits financial abuse? Not surprisingly, it's often someone the victim knows, like a family member or acquaintance. Caregivers or service providers may also be offenders. Sometimes financial advisors exploit others for their own gain. Finally, criminals and con artists target victims who are vulnerable. What signs may indicate financial exploitation? Always watch out for missing money or property, of course, but some of the other signs aren't as clear. For instance, frequent or large gifts to caregivers, someone with access to the person under your care, or new friends may be a sign of financial exploitation. Be concerned if you notice sudden or unexplained changes in the guardianship estate, such as unauthorized withdrawals or transactions or new names added to credit card or bank accounts. Other changes or attempts to change, things like wills, life insurance policies, or retirement accounts, may be signs of exploitation. Be suspicious if services or goods are paid for but don't appear to be received. Maybe the paid-for goods are new but inappropriate for the person who bought them. Or utilities that were supposedly paid for get cut off. Look for signs in estate-related mail and notifications too. If you notice missing mail or text alerts about existing guardianship accounts, financial exploitation may be happening. Same thing if you suddenly start getting email alerts about new accounts opened in the name of the person under guardianship. Finally, as guardian of the property, you may be a target for financial exploitation. Be wary of individuals who pressure you to use your powers inappropriately. They may ask you to spend money on unnecessary services or goods, or to give another person access or authority over guardianship assets. How can you prevent exploitation? Restrict access to guardianship accounts or property. Don't give out the person under guardianship's social security number, credit card information, account numbers, or passwords. Good record keeping is essential in order to prevent exploitation. Record everything that goes in or out of the guardianship estate, and any actions you take as guardian. Keep financial documents and records in a secure location only you can access. Frequently monitor guardianship accounts and bills, and keep your eye out for unusual or unauthorized transactions. Prevention can be simple. For example, never write a blank check and allow someone else to fill in the amount. Secure valuable guardianship property. For instance, get a safe for jewelry or other personal items. Don't sign anything you don't understand. Remember, as guardian of the property, you may be a target. Watch out for people who try to influence how you manage the guardianship estate. Keep an eye out for the deals that seem too good to be true. Also, watch for people who may try to influence, isolate, or harm a person under guardianship, like that new best friend who gets a lot of gifts. Remember, financial exploitation is the theft or misuse of another person's finances, and may be in the form of theft, fraud, or scams. Perpetrators may be friends, family, caretakers, financial planners, total strangers, or con artists. Signs of financial exploitation range from missing money to unauthorized transactions and unexpected alerts about new accounts. Preventing exploitation requires regular record keeping and the careful safeguarding of financial information and documents.
Did you know video series from the National Cancer Institute, Prostate Cancer. Did you know that prostate cancer is one of the most common cancers in the United States, representing almost 1 out of 10 new cancer cases? The prostate is a small reproductive gland found only in men. It makes fluid that is part of semen. Nearly all prostate cancers occur when the cells that make prostate fluid grow out of control. Although outcomes vary among prostate cancer patients, most men diagnosed with the disease can still live long lives. The number of men living with prostate cancer has increased from 1.65 million in 2000 to over 3 million in 2016. The 5-year relative survival for prostate cancer is 98%. This means that out of every 100 men diagnosed with prostate cancer, about 98 have not died from their cancer 5 years since diagnosis, after adjusting for other causes of death. However, because survival statistics are based on large groups of people, they cannot be used to predict exactly what will happen to an individual patient. In the United States, prostate cancer occurs more frequently in certain populations. Prostate cancer is most common in men between the ages of 65 and 74. African American men have the highest rates of prostate cancer diagnosis and are more than twice as likely to die from prostate cancer than men of other races and ethnicities. The disparities seen in prostate cancer mortality are due in part to low socioeconomic status, which may result in lack of health care coverage and unequal access to health care services, as well as improved treatment options. Research from NCI shows that certain variations in DNA may also create an increased risk for developing prostate cancer. A major risk factor for prostate cancer is having a family history of the disease. A man is 2 to 3 times more likely to develop prostate cancer if his father, brother, or son has had it. Not everyone with prostate cancer needs treatment. Prostate cancer is typically slow-growing and has few early symptoms. For men diagnosed with low-grade prostate cancer, active surveillance may be a good option. Active surveillance means that the doctor closely monitors the cancer, but does not treat it unless symptoms or test results show it is becoming more advanced. Locally advanced prostate cancer can cause symptoms including frequent, sudden, or painful urination, blood in the urine or semen, painful ejaculation, pain in the back, hips, or pelvis, or difficulty emptying the bladder. Talk with your doctor if you're experiencing any of these conditions. Treatments for newly diagnosed prostate cancer include surgery, radiation therapy, chemotherapy, and hormone therapy. If you are diagnosed with prostate cancer, it is important to talk with your doctor about what surveillance or treatment options are best for you. For more information on prostate cancer, go to cancer.gov or call 1-800-4CANCER. For more cancer statistics, go to seer.cancer.gov. By the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, National Institutes of Health, National Cancer Institute. Produced April 2020.
We know that Black Americans have one of the highest incidences of prostate cancer in the world. And in this country, the incidence is about 35% higher than for American Caucasian men. But the mortality is twofold higher and has remained so over many years.
The researchers don't know exactly why. It is suggested maybe our diet, maybe our stress level. Some have even suggested that our testosterone runs higher. We really don't know. But I would strongly suggest to the African American that we treat this as what it is, an epidemic.
My introduction to prostate cancer started with the death of my 46-year-old brother from cancer, then my dad 4 months later. And then I was told by doctors that I should be checked. But being ignorant to prostate cancer and not knowing what it was, that was my first ever screening at age 50. The same month that my dad passed away and came up positive. And I got this wonderful idea. You know, why don't I just go around and spread this word? Welcome to it, ma'am. This is our report in our scientific retreat. I saw the need for help in the underserved, and that although we're so disproportionately affected by prostate cancer, it's not always because we're not screened. The reason is because we just plain old cannot afford it. And if you're not feeling any pain, we tend to not go to the doctors.
those are the individuals where the message really needs to be gotten out there. And interestingly enough, there are a number of free screening programs, I would bet, in every city. But we need to get the message out to the populations that are really underserved, because they have the highest mortality and they have the most to benefit from early detection.